Today, we're jumping into a really powerful version of a classic Greek myth, but we're not just going to retell the story of Persephone's abduction. No, we're going to explore the incredible journey of a mortal hero named Elara, someone who dares to change the fate of the gods and, in turn, the entire world. And it all kicks off with one single fateful prophecy.
So the whole quest starts with this one cryptic line. The pomegranate, you see, isn't just a fruit. The oracle calls it a coveted fruit, meaning it's something deeply desired, something that holds the very key to Persephone's fate. This one sentence is what sends our hero down what seems like a totally impossible and incredibly dangerous path. So you might be asking, why would anyone even think about taking on a quest like this? Well, because the world is literally falling apart. When Hades, the god of the underworld, abducts Persephone, it throws everything into complete chaos. It creates this global crisis that's just crying out for a hero. I mean, the contrast is just so stark. The world goes from a state of radiance and harmony to absolute calamity and anguish. Persephone's mother, Demeter, who's the goddess of the harvest, is so overwhelmed by sorrow that the crops just wither and die. That peaceful balance is totally gone, and this is the disaster our hero has to face. And this is where Elara steps onto the scene. Now, she's not a god, she's not a demigod, she is a young mortal hero. But the thing that really sets her apart is that she is renowned for her bravery, her willingness to face danger when everybody else runs. She hears that call to adventure, and she accepts the challenge. The story really emphasizes that what Elara has isn't just everyday courage, it's true valor. And that's the specific quality you would need to not just face danger, but to willingly go down into the land of the dead itself, a journey so tough that no other mortal would even dare to try it. Her entire quest is a test of this very thing.
All right, so she's accepted the quest. Now, Elara has to cross the threshold from the world of the living into the absolutely terrifying realm of the underworld. And down there, believe me, the rules are different, and the guardians are ancient and powerful.
So right away, Elara is hit with a whole series of trials. First, she comes up against Cerberus, the huge three-headed guard dog. But instead of trying to fight him, she uses her wits, her cleverness, and some music to actually lull the beast to sleep. Then she's got to persuade Charon, the ferryman of the river Styx, and finally, she has to make her way through a realm that is just filled with tricky, deceitful spirits. Now here's what's so cool. To get through these trials, Elara relies on so much more than just brute strength. When Charon the ferryman demands a big, fancy payment, all she has to offer is a humble coin. Her real currency? Her eloquence. She makes a plea that is so persuasive, so filled with conviction, that the ancient ferryman actually gives in. Her power isn't in what she has, but in the truth of her mission.
Okay, so she has survived the journey, she's passed the trials, and now she's finally reached the heart of the underworld. And this brings us to the story's climax, a face-to-face confrontation with the god who caused all this suffering in the first place, Hades himself. To really understand Hades, you have to understand this word hubris. It's this divine arrogance, this excessive pride that lets him see his abduction of Persephone not as a terrible destructive act, but as his right. He's totally blinded by his own desires, and he just can't see the pain he's caused to Persephone, her mother, and the entire mortal world.
And right here, this is the brilliant contrast with Elara. Her defining strength is her fortitude. It's not arrogance at all. It's a deep moral and emotional strength in the face of just overwhelming adversity. This quiet courage is really the only weapon a mortal can use against the hubris of a god.
So Elara doesn't threaten Hades. She doesn't challenge him to some epic fight. Instead, she uses her fortitude and her eloquence to talk about the real-world consequences of his actions, a mother's deep grief and a whole world's suffering. Her sincere empathy is so powerful that it actually moves Persephone, who, seeing Elara's devotion, finally steps in. So Elara's appeal works, but a simple return just isn't in the cards. A price has to be paid.
A whole new pact has to be made to bring balance back to the cosmos, and it's one that's going to reshape the world forever. The solution they come up with is a really clever compromise. Persephone will spend half the year on Earth with her mother, and that's what brings us spring and summer. The other half of the year, she'll return to the underworld as its queen, which ushers in fall and winter. This pact, this whole deal born from Elara's quest, is the mythological origin of our seasons. And so our hero returns, not just alive, but successful. With Persephone back on Earth for the first time in so long, the world is reborn. The land thrives, it's a time of abundance and success, and Demeter's joy makes the fields bloom again. Elara, immortal, has saved the world. But the story doesn't just wrap up with a happy season. Like all the great myths, this one leaves behind something much, much deeper. A lesson about courage, about wisdom, and about the nature of balance itself. The true reward of Elara's whole journey is the legacy she leaves behind. Her quest doesn't just fix one problem. It actually creates a new principle for the world: moderation. The pact she helped inspire teaches us that true, lasting harmony always requires a balance between extremes. Ultimately, Elara's journey teaches us some really important things. It shows us that the valor of just one person can absolutely challenge the hubris of a god. It proves that wisdom and eloquence are just as mighty as brute force. And maybe most importantly, it shows that true empathy is the only force that can bridge the deepest divides and bring back a balance that requires moderation from everyone involved. And that kind of leaves us with a final thought, doesn't it? This ancient story champions the idea that courage and empathy together can heal profound rifts. So as we look at our own world, the question we're left with is this: where do we need that heroic blend of valor and wisdom the most right now?